Hi. Welcome back, everyone. It's good to have you here again. So this is our February 2024 edition of ENL with Vee-Jolly. And today we're going to be talking about a new experience. Drum rolls, please. So yes. Today we're going to be talking about my rumor experience. Yes, my experience with rumors. And I hope that we would have a very, very educative conversation today, because this is a topic that I think is particularly important in this age and time, because I think people are going crazy with this whole, becoming content creators, or, just trying to get content by all means. And some people don't even mind destroying someone else's image in the process just because you want to have content, or just because you want to have something to say. And I think that this topic is a very important topic. It's really something we need to talk about right now, because it's doing so much harm in this age and time. So I hope that we have a very educative conversation today. Before then, let's go on a short break, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, welcome back, everyone. All right, so let's dive right into it. I'm going to try to be intentional about making sure that this video is not too long. So we're just going to dive right into it. So growing up, I think I don't know if I have mentioned it in any of my previous videos, or if this will be the first thing I'm mentioning. But growing up, I am a daughter to, a bishop in an Anglican church and a chief magistrate in the Edo State Judiciary. Well, my dad's late now. That's going to be talk for another day. God rest his soul. But yeah, it was really, really tough growing up, because I think that the atmosphere around us was just one where people, when I say us, I mean me and my siblings. It was one where, people really just wanted to say something about us, wanted to have something wrong or something bad to say about us. And that was how it felt, everybody just, like, it felt like there was so much hate, so much anger around us. And the only way people could pass out that anger, or, show forth their hate, was to just say things, and all. And even beyond hatred, it felt like, I don't even know the right words to use for this, but let me give examples, and maybe that will help our understanding. So I think my very first experience with rumors was as a very young girl. I think I was about, I don't know, would I say 12? I'm not quite sure, but I think it was a bit younger than that. I was in the children choir at the time. And so shout out to all my peeps, the anointed waves. That's what we used to be called. We're called the anointed waves. There was the children choir in my church, and I love to sing. I've always loved to sing right from when I was a child, and I can fairly say I'm good at it too, to a large extent. So yes, I've always been in choirs growing up, right from when I was young. And we're called the Anointed Waves, like I said before. And I didn't know, but at a time, what actually brought about this revelation that this was actually going around was we had a new guy join us in church. And this guy, I'm going to not call names, because like I said, this YouTube channel, or this experiences that we share, is not to banter anybody or to shame anyone. It's just so that we can learn. So I'm going to avoid calling any names. So we had this new guy in church, and maybe we'll use alphabet to make it interesting. So we had this guy X join our church, and he joined our children choir. right? And we became fairly close in terms of friendship. And had some other friends, female friends and some guy friends already that, it was like a clique thing, but I don't know if you call it a clique, but it was like a large clique because we were a lot. And so this guy joined us and we became fairly close. And I heard one Sunday, it was a Sunday, that one of my friends, my female friends, um, came to me and said to me that, oh, do you know that this, let's say guy A, one of my previous friends before the new guy, who's guy X came in. Do you know that guy A, has is fighting with guy X because of you? And I'm like, what does that even mean? And she's like, bear in mind we're children, like real babies at the time, if I must say, because we're really young. I don't think I was up to 12. I think it may have been somewhere between 10 and 12. And he said that she said to me that, oh, guy A is fighting guy X because you are getting close to guy X. And I'm like, I'm close to all of you, like we're all friends, aren't we? What's the problem? And so she was like, oh, that this guy A has actually been going around town. Our town where we were serving, or where my dad was serving as a bishop, was a fairly small town. It wasn't, a massive place and all. So she said, oh, that he was going around town telling people that we're together, we're dating. And I'm like, what? Like, we are babies. What does that even mean? And he was telling people that, oh, we're together, we're dating. And he was supposedly fighting this other guy because, I was getting close to guy and he was of the opinion that the other guy wanted to steal me from him. And I'm thinking to myself, this is all ridiculous. And realistically, I've always been a crybaby. I'm a very emotional person. So my first reaction to it was to cry. Because first of all, my dad was a disciplinarian, and I knew that if my dad heard it, I was going to be in trouble. I like no cap. So I was really like, what the heck? And then to make it worse, like I said, okay, so when I already shared it, there's a previous video we have where I talked about my bedwetting experience, and I was already dealing with all of that at that stage of my life. So imagine combining. I'm going to try and be linking my experiences. So you see how some of these things were really happening concurrently and really stressing me out mentally. So this bedwetting thing was ongoing, and I'm there really trying to continue to keep this whole thing a secret from my friends, from people, so that people don't look at me like, this girl. And then somebody's out here, stressing me out about being in a relationship with me, a relationship that I didn't even know about. And I'm a child. So I'm thinking, what is this? So of course I confronted the guy, and bro, it escalated. I mean, it was so bad. Like this dude actually denied it so much, even though everybody else was like, it's true. I imagine that two people can gang up against you, three maybe, but then like when 6 to 7 people are beginning to say the same thing, I'm thinking there has to be some kind of truth in this thing. Do you understand? And it was something that apparently was already really widespread. And this guy is obviously denying it to my face. And like I said, it escalated. Like, bro went to his house and brought a knife to come to church to swear. I don't know if he was planning to cut himself or whatever. I'm just glad that we didn't get to the end of that to actually see what was going to happen. But this guy actually went home, brought a knife to come and swear in church that he never said anything like that. And bro, I was like, it was mental because everybody started, it was so funny because everybody started like screaming, like, what is this? Why are you doing this? This is that. It got so rowdy real quick. And God help us, one of our church aunties came and, I was like, what's going on? To like sort of cool down the whole situation. And then eventually, yeah, long story short, he eventually got to my dad. And I'm going to save you the rest of that story because the focus is on rumors, right? Because yes, the rest of the story is quite interesting, but it's not for today. So yes, that was my first experience with rumors, me being somebody's girlfriend without even knowing it, and it's even leading to a fight. And all this while, I didn't even know that I was dating somebody. That was one. And then I went to uni. I actually attended a private university, and then I think one time I got home from holiday and one of my friends, told me that people were saying that I was too dull. That was why my dad took me to private school. Like I was not smart enough, you know, and that's why my dad took me to a private school. And at the time, I was already in a space where my self-esteem was really, really bad because of some things that were happening. So very vetting experience, and there were also some other things that were already happening alongside. So I was already in a very bad place where my self-esteem was really, really bad. And I did have issues with my jam, not because I was dull, but because a lot of things were happening around me as a young child that I couldn't really deal with. So it started to affect my academics. I'm not making this up, guys. Trust me, I'm not trying to cover up for not passing my jam properly. I'm being sincere. There was so much going on. There's so many situations around me that affected my academics, as a growing child. And I can say that for a fact because I eventually did other studies and I saw how I performed. So I know that yes, there was something definitely going on at the time. So I was already in a very bad place. So yes, I didn't do quite well. I wrote my jam twice, and none of it was really great, if I'm being honest. And so when I heard this, my friend was saying to me that, oh, people were saying that I was dull. That's why my dad had to take me to a private school to save face, to avoid shame, this and that. I felt so bad. Like that one actually got to me. That was not the reason, of course. That was not why my dad took me to a private school. You get. My dad, in his own mind, he just wanted to make my education quick so that I'm in a space where I'm already getting settled and I can sort of bring my siblings along, and help them as the first child. So that was his mindset, like, let me make this child. And if I can afford it, why not? So, and that was what it was. Just, and realistically, it was a great plan because I ended up graduating, my first degree at the age of 19. And, life just sort of was able to start for me. And that's why even after he passed, I was already in a space where I was, well enough mentally, maybe not already there, because of course I'm still trying to get my stance and all of that. But I was already in a good place in terms of maturity and growth to be able to start to hold my siblings by the hand and things like that. So it was, at the end of the day, not a bad idea. It was a good choice that he made. But then people made it look like it was because, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. And because truly I didn't do so well in my jam, it got to me. It really got to me and I felt so bad. I remember going to cry to my mom and I told my mom that, see what my friends said, see what they say, people are saying in church that this is why daddy took me. And my mom just told me, see, forget about it. You get, like, she just told me, like, at the end of the day, people will say what they want to say and you just have to move past it. And that was another one which really hit me. And if, let's say, for instance, I didn't even talk about it, would have actually damaged I can safely say it also damaged my self-esteem a bit more than it already was. And at the end of the day, it was just a rumor from people who don't know nothing about my family. That's number two. And then the one that was really, really amazing. uh same, I was still in uni, same period or same phase of my life. And I think I came back from school, same thing. Yes, I was on holidays and one of my friends came to me and she was really, really angry because she was like, oh, and when I keep saying this, one of my friends I keep saying is the same person, just for the record. Funny enough, it's actually the same person. She's been my friend for the longest, you know, and she was always the one bringing these things to my knowing, I know what most of you are thinking. Like, oh, if she was there when they were saying it, she was probably part of it. No, it was never that she was there when they were saying it. It was a case of every time she heard it, once she heard it, she came to me to say, oh, this is what it is. And I know that she was doing it from a sincere place because this last one I'm about to discuss or mention, actually made me understand what was going on. So she came to me and she said to me, she was really upset with me. She was like, how could this happen to you and you didn't tell me this is this? Because she felt really betrayed, like I'd actually betrayed her, for not telling her. And had no clue what she was talking about. And I said, what's the problem? What happened to me that I'm not aware of? And she said to me that, how could I have gotten pregnant and committed an abortion and I didn't tell her? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Guys, I was shocked. was I was thrown aback. I was so shocked. And I'm like thinking, where did you even get that from? And like, disclaimer, I've never been pregnant in my life. And I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting in front of the camera. God is my witness. I've never been pregnant in my life. And I was so shocked. And I was like, where's this coming from? And she said, that one of our friends in church, a guy apparently, told her that I confided in him and told him that I was pregnant. I got pregnant, and I did an abortion. And guess what, guys? They added something on the top. Like, this one's going to blow your mind. They said that I went to my father and I told him that there's nothing he can do about it. That I got pregnant and I've done an abortion and there's nothing he can do about it. See, anybody who knows my father, that was enough to make you know that it was a lie. Because no child of Bishop Jolly, can't do that. Can walk up to my dad and say to him that I committed an abortion, I got pregnant. No, let's start from the beginning, because for you to get pregnant means you had sex, right? So you walk up to my dad and say, Daddy, I had sex, I got pregnant, and then I committed an abortion, and there's nothing you can do about it. You will not live to tell the story. And like, no jokes apart. You all know how the African parents flow goes. Then multiply it by 10. That's my father. So when I'm thinking, how is this even a thing? Like, anybody who hears this should have known from that instant that it's a lie. So I said, I want to see this person who told you this thing that I confided in him. So we started our investigation. Like, because this one, I was actually ready. Because I was like, no, this is, I've had enough of this. Like, I've had this up to here with all this talk here and there. So I went to this guy and I said to him, like, bro, what's wrong with you? Where is this coming from? He was like, no, it's this other guy that said, it's this person that said this, and that's how nobody eventually accepted that they were the ones who said it and all. And so, and then of course, I had to come to my friend and be like, babe, you know me more than this. Like, I'm actually disappointed that you actually believed this. Do you understand? Like, people actually told you this and you believed it. Like, it's another story for another day. But of course, we kissed and made up, because I feel like she was just really sad. Maybe, I don't know how the story was told. I don't know. Like, for her to have believed it must have been believable. Like, for my friend to have believed it, like, the person must have really been good at telling the story, because it really, really threw me off. And I just couldn't imagine. The good thing was, at that time when that rumor came up, I had already gotten to a place where I was already, building myself. I was a bit stronger than I used to be. My emotions were not all over the place anymore. Like, every small thing cry, because that's what it used to be me. I used to be that girl. And even now, I can't really say that I'm too grown, because I still cry, but you get the drift. So I'd already started to learn how to manage my emotions. And I remember, like, when the thing came up, I was more angry than crying. Like, I was really pissed. Like, what nonsense? Because this is a defamation of my character. This is like a full defamation. And imagine if my dad heard that. Because I don't know if eventually the gist got to my dad, Sha. But imagine my dad heard that. What kind of thing is this? Just because you and eventually I just felt like you all pointed down to the fact that people are just really jealous. And when people are jealous, they don't know what else to do than to find lies to tell about you. And it's so sad. It's really, really sad. Because why? Like, why? And I would have even expected them to own up to it. Like, okay, when I walked up to them, I'm like, okay, who is the person that is saying these things? I would have expected, like, I like people who own up to their thing, own it. Like, you said it, right? You should be able to say it to your full chest, even when I'm standing there. But they couldn't. They couldn't even. I'm like thinking, how would you even be so? How most of these people that spread these things, they're cowards. How would you even be such a coward? And yet, like, you have the guts to be spreading rumors about somebody, and you can't even stand, like you can't stand and own your talk. Because they couldn't prove it, they couldn't prove where it came from. I was so bad. And I'm thinking to myself, why would anybody even say this? Why would you even, why is that the thought that came to me? Like, where did that even come from? How do you just sit down and start something like that? And this is me and my little stories, like, oh, little stories of somebody claiming I was his babe when I wasn't, somebody saying that I was too dumb, that's why they took me to a private school, and then somebody saying that, oh, I got pregnant and committed an abortion. And it got to me, like, it was really, really upsetting, just this little stories. And then imagine what is going on in our world today, where people actually just sit down and declare somebody dead. I mean, oh God. I was just sitting on my own and I just saw on YouTube, Bishop T. Jakes is dead. I'm thinking to myself, how? Like, why? Just because of content. How will I even speak the English? Just because of likes and views? And are you serious? And you just sit down and declare somebody dead. Do you know the gravity of death? That's the one that gets to me the most in all of these things that go on. Like, I understand people coming to say, oh, this woman's wife has left this woman's husband and all those terrible lies here and there, which is, whatever. But getting to the point, like, is it so bad now that we're now at the point where people can just sit down and declare somebody dead and it's okay? Like, you don't think there's something wrong with that? You just sit down and declare somebody dead and just come and post. I can't count how many actors, actresses, pastors that we've just randomly seen somebody on YouTube that claims this person is dead, this person is dead. And you're thinking, what is going on? And of course, people would always continue to click because truly other people are dying. And realistically, in the world we are in now, a lot of deaths seem to be occurring. Like, people are dying. I don't know if it's just me, maybe because my uncle used to say that because it's gotten close to our house, that's why it feels like it's now you notice that people are dying. People have always been dying. But I feel personally like that's not really the case. I feel like people are really dying. Young, old, people are just like people are really dying lately. And for you to now think that it is a joke or it is casual, and then you put it on your YouTube just because you want people to view it, because people would be curious, like, is it true, because of what the things that are happening now, and then somebody will click it only to find out that you're just it's too much. It's way too much. And I just think that it is wrong. And I don't think, I know that it is wrong. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting now. So that's my story. That's what I went through. In the term in English. Sorry, guys. That's what I went through. When it comes to rumors, and I think I got my lessons from it, and I think you're going to find it quite interesting. So please stick around. And I'll be back.
Can you see this? In Nigeria, we're familiar with sites like this. Some of these children are sent out of their homes as early as 3 to 5 years to fend for themselves. They would literally do anything to survive. These children have no food, no shelter. A lot of us discriminate them, looking down on them like beggars, because that's exactly what they've become. They beg to stay alive. They sleep on the streets, and some of them end up losing their lives due to the harshness of the weather. Just a meal a day is actually like a trophy to them. It gives them so much joy and happiness. My name is Vee-Jolly, founder of Safe Haven for Counseling Initiative, SHCI. And here at SHCI, we intend to make this joy and happiness permanent by giving these children as many meals as we can and by putting a roof over their heads. We also will extend this service to single parents who are struggling to take care of their children and orphans who have no father or mother to fend for them. We really want you to join hands with us to make this a reality. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, guys, if you enjoyed our short video, please do well to join hands with us, and donate to our cause, to the children we're trying to help, and help on the streets, feed, and eventually see how we can begin to take the children off the streets by the grace of God. So, yeah, do well to reach out to us if you need any more information or anything like that, and we'll be happy to help. Now let's dive into our lessons from today's experience. Okay, great. Now, number one, the this is a fun fact. Okay, the person who started my rumor about me, about the fact that we were dating, and the person who started the rumor about me being in, me being pregnant and committing an abortion are from the same family. Yes. So moving forward, we also face, and just for the record, I'm just going to say this as a, like, by the way, this was supposed to come in the experience. I'm supposed to talk in lessons now, right? Sorry, guys. But they also, from the same family, also started a rumor about my dad. My dad was a cultist and whatnot. That's a story for another day, really. Let me just talk about me, because if I want to start talking about things that were said about my dad, about my parents, that one is another story. So moving forward, same family, like I was saying, and I then uh, finally graduated, left home, service, then eventually masters and all of that. And while I was, though, I think there was a period. I don't know if I started my masters yet. I can't really remember the time frame, because realistically, I try not to even keep these things in my head. If I'm being honest, I don't really remember the time frame. But then I came back home, and I feel like God really has a sense of humor, because it could have happened while I was away, but this thing, the revelation happened while I was at home, right? And this family was the one who actually started the rumor about me being his babe and all of that. It turns out that it came to light that a girl in the choir was pregnant. She was pregnant at the time. And so upon counseling, talking to her and all of that with my dad and some pastors and all of that, they discovered that this guy was responsible. And it turns out she had already had an abortion for him before. So this was the second pregnancy that she was having for him. And sadly, that pregnancy also ended in an abortion, because the girl's family really was not having it. They didn't want to have anything to do with the child and all of that. So sadly, even after all the pleadings, the church begged, everybody begged, but they eventually aborted it. So in other words, she had done 2 abortions for him as of now. And I didn't even think of it at the time, because realistically, glory to God, was, I genuinely was not in this space where I went, wow, can you believe it? Like, yeah, this thing has happened, because I wasn't thinking of it in that light. It was even someone who brought it to my attention. Someone came to our house and the person was talking about it. Like, do you remember it was this guy that started a rumor about the fact that you were pregnant, you had an abortion, and now look. And I was like, wow, like, it's actually true, and all of that. What is my point? Number one lesson: there is the law of sowing and reaping. Don't sow what you don't want to reap. Simple, clear cut, like straight up. Don't sow what you don't want to reap. Because I'm 25 years old, and I've already seen someone who said such things about me, sort of reap his words back. So what do you think? Do you really think that whatever it is you're sowing is does not have the tendency to come back? Think about it for a second. It's easy to say things, but what about the repercussions? Like, it's so easy for you to come online and say somebody has died, somebody who's healthy, living his life. Like, there was even one that happened recently. I think it was the period of the experience. Pastor Donnie McCaulin was in Nigeria in the experience, and my auntie saw a video on YouTube with, oh, Donnie McCaulin is dead. I'm thinking, what is going on? And I knew that this man was in Nigeria for the experience, and I think there was a service the day after. for there was a service the day after where he also ministered in House on the Rock the next day, and somebody was on YouTube declaring him dead. So it's easy for you to wake up and decide that you want to declare somebody dead today just because you want to create, what do they use to call this? You want to cause traffic on your page. But please be ready, oh. Just be ready in case that the words that you are sowing, in case they do now come back, be ready. I'm not going to say more than that, because the idea is not, I'm not going to sit here and place and curse you, because that's not my job. That's not my job here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, so if you say somebody is dead, is dead, your family member is going to die. Again, it's not my job. But just in case that the words you're sowing then comes back to you, please be ready. Because a lot of us cannot handle what we dish out. Let's be honest. Many of us cannot handle what we dish out. That's why I said it's so easy to use your mouth. It's so easy to open your mouth and just allow things flow. But whatever the repercussions are, forgive my English, because now I think I'm going to vex. Whatever the repercussions are, I hope that you're ready for that as well. Okay? That is I think that's the major lesson that I'm giving, because that was what happened to me personally. I have seen the people who spoke about me eat back their words, literally, already. Eat back their words. So don't put yourself in that kind of space. That's number one. Number two, general morality, like just general morality, should put you in a space where you should just not, you don't need these things. We have seen a lot of content creators, people who crack us up. I can give examples. So many content creators online that do their maybe even comedy skits, give advice. There's somebody like, MC Relax, who just, advises us in his own funny way and things like that. And people are learning lessons from things he says. There are people that they're content creators online who are doing their thing, creating their content without dragging anybody into it, without saying anything about other people. And they have more audience than you, who is using people's death and resurrection to create content. They have more audience than you, who is dragging people in the mud to create content. Think about it now. Why not ask God to give you wisdom, to give you ideas that you can use to create your content, instead of spreading lies and rumors about people? Particularly, what I've realized lately is it is now more in the church. Everybody has something to say about this pastor, about this. I'm not saying, please drop me on the floor. I don't have energy to fight. I won't even respond. I'm not saying that things are not happening in the church, but it is almost like that's where most people's energy are now. Oh, this pastor has done this pastor. It's almost like every day people are waiting for one Christian to do something, or somebody to do something, so that you can have something to say. I'm not even going to Christianize this. Like, even I'm going to say it in religions generally. Everybody's waiting for one person to do this in this religion, or this person should do this in this place, and then let us have something to say. And then before you know it, it is everywhere. This and that and that. Or somebody creates a movie. There's so many funny ones. Somebody makes a movie. We know that that's the only movie. You carry the movie, put part two. So part two. So that people can come to your page. You are lying. You are lying. It's a lie. It is a lie, and it is wrong. Why not open your mind and ask God to give ideas? God gives people ideas. We've seen it. That's why I've given you examples. There are content creators that do their thing. They create ideas. They do their thing. There's this particular babe I like on YouTube. I can't really remember her name now. She gives original comedy skits, like very, very funny girl. I think it's Chivera also. She's very funny kid. And like very, very funny skits she does. Original skits. And you go on there, you laugh, you enjoy, see the views. People are there because this girl is literally helping us to relieve stress. And then you think that it is you calling people dead that will give you views. Repent. Please, repent. Repent. Lastly, so when I was preparing to do this video, it dropped in my spirit to actually search on scriptures, relating to rumors and lies. Just check if there was anything like that in the Bible. Because you know how we do here. We are Christians on this channel. And I always make sure that I use the Bible to solidify everything that I am preaching on here. So I searched for scriptures, relating to rumors, lies, and things like that. Slander, slandering people, saying bad things about people just to defame them and things like that. And, I'm going to read out 2 scriptures to you. And I'm going to wrap up with that because to be forewarned is before armed. So I'm going to read it out to you. Okay, so it says, there are 6 evils God truly hates, and a 7th that is an abomination to him: putting others down while considering yourself superior, spreading lies and rumors, spilling the blood of the innocent, plotting evil in your heart towards another, gloating over doing what's plainly wrong, spouting lies in false testimony, and stirring up strife between friends. These are entirely despicable to God. And that's Proverbs 6:16-19 in the Passion Translation. Yes, that is from the Bible. And some of us, the stories we tell, the things we do, it almost falls into all of these categories just by one action that we take in the name of creating YouTube videos or whatever, or trying to cause traffic. And the second one says, I will stop anyone who secretly says bad things about a neighbor. I will not allow people to be proud and think they're better than others. And that's from Psalm 10:15, and that's from the easy to read version. It says it will stop anyone who secretly says bad things about a neighbor. Rumors. You secretly go to the corner, and most of the times, bet out of jealousy, purge your heart. A lot of us need to purge our heart. I understand that. See, I have friends myself who, when I see some things they're doing, it's almost a natural feeling, of the flesh to feel some kind of way when people are excelling around you, or your friends are making progress that you're not making, or things like that. Or you see somebody who you feel is from a privileged family, or you came from a family that you had barely had anything to eat, or you're struggling or suffering, and you see people and most of us naturally tend towards the line that, oh, they are proud. It's not true, it's your mind. Sometimes you think, oh, because the person has, oh, they are proud. You don't even know them. Sometimes you don't even know them. It's your mind. It is your mind. It is the anger in your mind. It is the jealousy in your mind. And you need to purge your heart. Purge your heart. So I think I've drawn out 2 more lessons in this, from these scriptures and from these words I've just said. First off, God hates it. It is wrong. They're despicable to God. That's what the passage says. And secondly, purge your heart. Purge your heart of jealousy, of hatred, these feelings, because these are the things that actually makes people to do what they do, to spread lies about people, to do all these things. Purge your heart. Purge your heart. And lastly, I keep saying lastly, but these lessons just keep dropping in my spirit. And lastly, somebody else's pain is not the source of your wealth. Stop using people's pain to make money. Somebody else's pain is not the source of your wealth. It shouldn't be the source of your business. What kind of business do you think you would have? What kind of success do you think you would have when you build it on the foundation of lies, of people's pain, of causing somebody else pain? of rumors, when you build it on the foundation of rumors, what kind of success do you think can ever come out from such a venture, from such a business? What kind of success do you think you can ever come out? Again, back to my words, sowing and reaping. You can't sow on the ground of lies and expect that you're going to keep succeeding. Whatever that success is, you're only sowing it. You're only now sowing it as a seed, as a wrong seed into your future. And again, like I said, just be sure, just be ready, that when the law of sowing and reaping starts to play out, whatever happens, just be sure that you're going to be okay with it. And if you're going to be okay with it, then it's fine. You can go on with what you're doing. And people already going through a lot already. Don't add to it now. The country is already had enough. Nigeria has already had enough. In short, the world's already had enough. Please, leave people alone. I know you don't like them. They may not even be good people, but leave them alone. It is not in your place to spread lies about people, whether they are good or bad people. It is not in your place. So leave people alone. I really tried though. I said I was going to make this video to be short. But I knew that once I started my storytelling, it was going to be long. So please forgive me that we've stretched to, this length in this video. I'm going to stop ranting now, and I really hope that we will take this word seriously. To those that may concern, please, I use God and beg you. If nothing stops you, carry that Bible scripture, especially the first one, and read it over and over again, and remind yourself that God is not in support of this. Thank you very much. So yes, till I see you next time in our next video, which will be next month. See you next month. And I love you with the love of Christ. Have a lovely day. Bye, guys. Bye.